Good day, Internet people!
Good day, people!
We've been joined by Batman and Phil. So, this has been much requested, and finally I've got a deck that's technically not actually finished because I've got to switch one card out, but yeah, Neonectar, yay!
Because you're asking for
Yay!
It's about blabbing time.
Nyan! Right, let's
God,
start
how
with...
long does it take to do deck prep? God!
Oh, chat! I'm trying to do my best. Starting Vanguard. Ooh, I knocked the camera. I'm so pro. I'm not used to Trippy. He's got wide legs. Starter is Maiden of Physalis ×2. We'll explain why later. Basically, the trick here is to not have entirely GB reliant things. Otherwise, your deck becomes too slow. So what this does is when an attack hits the Vanguard during the battle, this unit boosted. If you have a Neonectar Vanguard, you may pay the cost. If you do, look it up to 5 cards from the top of your deck. Search for up to 1 grade 1 Neonectar from among them. Call it to a rear card at rest and shuffle your deck. 2. Once. Basically, you're going to superior call the second one with Asher.
Man!
A trick I learned from the anime. Triggers are nice and mostly aggressive, in that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 crits. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 draws. And 4 heals.
Was there what? Why 5 draws?
Because draws are good. I like having 5 draws in this deck. It, for the most part, it works very nicely.
Unless you do what you did against me and find 3 on a single drive.
Yeah, 3 draw triggers on a triple drive. It was quite funny. It's also really funny when you do the thing that I did to Phil when he was using his witches and Superior called the same triggers.
Yeah.
And they all became 10Ks.
Yeah.
Now that's funny. Moving on. Grade 1s, we start with Maiden of Passionflower. That's 4 copies of your Unflipping Perf, because a certain card in this deck has a very expensive cost and you need to be able to, counterbalance that. Followed up by 4 Padmini, because we need to drop for stride.
Of course.
It's kind of, again, it's just
not becoming like grade 1s are becoming 4 perfect guards, 4 drop for strides.
And then 6 other cards.
And then 6 supports.
Always very important to remember that if you happen to superior call this, you can't search for an Asher. I have to remind myself of that sometimes.
You can't find an Asher?
No. If it comes from the deck,
and
it's superior called, you can't use it. It has to come from the hand. It does specify. Yeah.
Makes sense, to be honest.
The next card is 4 copies of Knight of Transient Mare Hope. GB1 from the rear guard, you just basically put this card on the top of your deck and then search for the grade 2, which is Mare Dream, and call it to rear guard and shuffle your deck. It's really funny. It's like the was it Maiden of Cherry Stone and the other one?
The ones which call each other like in and out.
Yeah, but they had to like hit and stuff. This doesn't do that.
That's like Shield Sea Squad!
Yeah, it kind of calls back to the original version of Neonectar. These are brilliant. They work very, as I found out today, they work really well with one particular stride, which you'll see later, which I need to change around. The other thing is a limit break remover, which might be a hint as to what's coming. Maybe, I don't know.
Limit break removers are becoming more common nowadays, aren't they?
They are.
As people combine the old and new stuff.
Indeed. Now we move on to the grade...
Particularly Dual Knight decks, because they can find the blast.
Because they always seem to be able to get them out on turn 2. Grrr.
Damn you, sword me!
Bloody cat. Grade 2 is we start with 2 copies of 10k Vanilla, because it's quite nice to ride that turn 2, makes guarding easier, you take less damage. That's a good thing.
Defensive trigger, you're like, 15.
Exactly. So, of course, you've seen the grade 1, here's the copy of the grade 2. This one's ability is slightly different in that GB1 again. Counterblast 1, Soul Blast 1, put this unit on the top of your deck. At the end of your turn, you may pay the cost. If you do, you search your deck for up to 2 copies of the grade 1 and call them to separate rear guards, which kind of helps set up someone's GB2 skill.
I can't think why.
Very, very good. And again, it works very nicely with one of the stride units I've got, which you will see a bit later on. And as I said before, a certain card in the deck has a very high cost to play its ability. So we need 4 copies of Wheelwind Dragon, because on GB2 he swings for 14 when you've got 2 of him out. So that's the thing. It's a very simple deck, this one. Because, yeah, GB1...
Numbers coming at you every day.
GB1, when his units attack hits a Vanguard, unflip 2! Oh, sorry, counter-charge.
I'm sorry, unflipping makes more sense.
I know, but, you know, terminology and all that stuff.
Countercharge? Is that... No. It would be counterblast. Or uncounterblast.
We can't get too pedantic about it. Anyway, main grade 3 is, of course, 4 copies of Ashar. For those who don't know, GB2, all of your units get continuous Vanguard or Rearguard. During your turn, if you have a unit with the same card name as this unit on your Vanguard or Rearguard, this unit gets plus 5k.
Hang on.
Hashtag numbers. Boo! What?
Boo!
What?
Because late game, that's mean.
Well, you should have killed me sooner then, shouldn't
We tried!
you? Hence the 5 draw triggers. Anyway, the other skill is Counterblast 1. During your turn when your G unit strides, you may pay the cost. If you do, choose a Rearguard and basically copy it and give it plus 2k. Hence why on your first stride, hence the 2 starters. That's the only reason we run 2 starters, because of that skill.
It's like a backup in case, you know, you haven't got everything down on the field yet.
Because the only time that would ever fail is if you happen to have already drawn the thing. Which can happen occasionally, but usually you get that to work. And it becomes a 7k for the turn, so you just stick a 9k in front of it and swing for 16 and watch your opponent continue to cry. The backup here is Maiden of Venus Trap Reverse.
Say what?
I know. Well, I need to... I believe we've both at the same time, Mr. Ed, made this decision that this would be a good idea to run as a backup. So the Limit Break, which may or may not be at forward...
This is one you were thinking of using Neonectar at Team League, wasn't it?
Before I decided that... before we found a way to make the oracles work.
Old school.
I know, right? Yeah, so Limit Break may or may not be at forward, depending on what rearguard you have around at the time. You Counterblast 1 and lock a thing. Look at up to 5 cards from the top of your deck, etc. Up to 1 Neonectar from among them. Call it to rearguard, shuffle your deck, and give that unit plus 5.
Good then.
It's kind of... It's a bit like Lukier Reverse, except from the top 5 cards of the deck. So it deck thins a bit.
And the chances are you normally find Asher anyway. So she just becomes Stride Fodder.
She does. Very pretty Stride Fodder.
Yeah, you see it for that one.
At the very least, very nice backup to have. I figured that it would be nice to have a card that you could still do something with, rather than a card that just sits there. You know, something like the trial deck, the other trial deck grade 3 is quite good.
Even if you don't have Asher if you have her in hand and she's on the field, you can still use her skill, look for the items to clone, and then just ride Asher. GB2.
Yeah.
Field.
I should also mention the other ability. Counterblast 1, it gets plus 2k. Until the end of turn.
Yeah, people use that skill nowadays.
No. But it's there. If you happen to not have a booster for it and you're against a cross ride, then it can still hit.
True.
There's that. Stride units then. We'll start with Blizzard, because Blizzard's Blizzard, and Blizzard's great. That... you have the choice, really. You can either use them early if you want to get GB2 to happen quickly, which never usually happens in this deck.
It depends how stunted your hand is for Stride next turn.
I guess so. And the other thing to do is to use him late game and smash face for massive numbers, which is a more common thing for me to do in the Oracle deck, to be honest.
Have you got a perf? Nope, then.
Yes, because of course at its very highest you give it plus 35,000. Yeah, Counterblast 1 and flip a copy of a face down G zone face up. When this unit attacks the Vanguard, you may pay the cost. If you do, it gets plus 5 for each face up card in your G zone until the end of that battle. Smash face. That's usually what happens. Right. Let's do this one next. I've still got 4 copies of Trial Deck Stride. Arborea. Basically, when this unit's attack hits a Vanguard, choose a rearguard, copy it, and give it plus 2. Nice and simple. Brilliant first stride, works with, makes
Oh,
Ash's
Jesus,
skill.
brother.
She's the stride.
Jesus.
Oh yeah, also the thing to get rid of for G assist if you need to use it. That's a good point, sorry. I misunderstood. So yeah. One of these is going to be taken out. But for the purposes of the fact that this is how it is at the moment, it's 2 copies of Primavera. But as I say, it will go down to 1. Because its ability is expensive, as good as it is. Much as everyone else is going to complain about it as I read it out. Counterblast 3, choose 5 normal units from your drop zone, put them on top of your deck in any order, and then choose a card from your hand and discard it. When this unit attacks the vanguard, you may pay the cost. If you do, choose up to 2 of your rear guards, search your deck for up to 2 cards, with the same card name as each of those units, and call them to separate rearguard and shuffle your deck. Ed? Boo! Thought so. Now then, it's very important to make aware that some people don't understand what the maths is of these things. Choose 2, yes. Choose 2 of your rearguards and search your deck for up to 2 copies of each.
So
that means you get... Let's grab 2 units.
So you're getting 4 more units, basically.
Yes. So if you pick...
So basically you're getting new columns.
What you would do is you would have your stride upon the vanguard circle, and you would have a full rearguard. You would attack, pay the cost. Say pick these 2. You would then search the deck for 2 copies of each. So then you would basically make 2 brand new columns. So without having any stand triggers on that turn, you attack 5 times. And then your opponents kill you. Because you've attacked loads of times at them.
And that's Nova's job.
I know.
And Aquaforce.
Yeah. So that's how it works. You would get 5 attacks. But as I say, because the cost of the thing is quite high, I'm going to drop this one, keep 1, and I'm going to up the following card to 2, because as I found out today, it's hilarious. It's Multivitamin Dragon from the Fighters Collection.
The card is now worth like 45p.
It's worth precisely not much. Because it turns out that... its ability is, when your unit is placed on the rearguard, choose up to 3 of your other rearguards with the same name as... up to 3 of your other rearguards with the same name as that unit, and they get +5. And this stacks each time a new unit comes down.
Okay.
Here's the thing.
Par example.
Here's the thing. It's really gross with those 2. And I know, I did it earlier. I think I,
Did you discover it by accident?
Well, I basically put the stride down. I can't remember what I think I copied this, and then there was 2. So the first one got +5. Then I called a third. So the first one's now on +10, and the second one's on +5. Used this new one that I've just called to search out this, and then called down another one that was in my hand to give this one +5. And there was just numbers everywhere. This card's really good, so I'm gonna up it to 2 because it's a cheap card to get hold of. And I imagine that a few people will probably be saying, but why haven't you got Jingle Flower Dragon? Why haven't you got a playset of Sour Slicer? I just haven't been able to get hold of it, really.
Sour Slicer?
Sour Slicer's like your old Snoggles.
Oh, really?
The promo.
Oh, the thing I kept pulling.
Yeah, that.
It doesn't really need it because they throw power around themselves anyway.
The thing for me is that Sour Slicer is good.
Good.
But if you have to ride one, if they get damage checked, you have to go through some pretty extreme measures to ensure that you get them back. As I've never got hold of a Jingle Flower Dragon, I've never really had a chance to try it out and test it and whatever. But I found just that the way this deck is at the minute for me is absolutely fine.
And a Kagero and Narukami player will just look at those things and go, you need them, do you? Or a Link Joker player.
And then she gets them back for me. That's what she's for.
If she hits.
She doesn't have to hit, it's when she attacks.
Oh.
Yeah.
You say when the attack hits.
No, it's just when she attacks. Primavera only has to attack to get the thing to happen.
Yeah.
So that's my deck. I'm sure
Boo! Boo!
I'm
Bill,
very,
boo!
Boo.
I'm
What, booing over?
very
Linus
sure.
Neonectar deck.
Gonna boo it? No? No, he's not gonna boo it. He
I
can't
think
boo
he's
it.
I
hallucinating.
did say boo. I can't do more.
Oh, okay. So that's
Because he's a
basically
ninja.
my Neonectar deck. As I was going to say, I'm pretty sure that some people will very strongly disagree with me in the comment section below about my particular choice of units and stuff for my deck. That's absolutely fine. The good thing about the current way that Neonectar is that there's a lot of different ways you can do it. You can go with Cell Slicer and Jingle Flower Dragon and do the numbers thing that way. That's fine. I just happen to have quite liked the way my deck plays.
Or as Emily suggested today, Maiden of Trailing Rose.
As we were saying before we started filming this with Mr. Phil and his talk of Iori, we can't really rely on cards that Persona Blast in a format where you need to ditch grade 3s to Stride. So that's why I wouldn't go for that one. In the same way that as much as I'd love to get hold of a playset of Battle System Monica for another Oracle deck idea, I wouldn't do it because I wouldn't be able to. I'd have to ditch her for Stride and lose her effect. So this is my not my Oracle deck. This is my Neonectar deck. I knew that. Shush, it's late. So yes, feel free to provide other suggestions for ways that I can make this deck better in the comment section below. And we'll see you in the next video. Bye!
Bye!
I won't be long. Because I'm Batman.
I'm Batman!
Conditioner.
I'm Batman!
You are a genius.